Welcome to BCB Live. We're the safest station in the nation. Drive safe, Dave Surrick, producer in the back over there. Hey, listen, a lot of stuff going on. Drive safe. I was in Nashville today, back home, or Nashville today and yesterday, and the day. I'm back at home just like that, doing the show live. Blowing and going, something you do quite a bit as you go around this office, and probably a lot of stuff like that going on. And
trying to get things done. You see this guy here working hard out there on the streets. Just imagine it as Drive Safe Dave getting the job done right here, right now.
That's you scooping up some crap, though. That, a little differit right there. Some of that,
caution, men at work.
Men at work. Favorite men at work song, Drive Safe Dave?
It is MTV. I'm going to go.
Come on. Men at work.
Guitar, Money for Nothing.
What?
Isn't that Men
at Work would never sing a song that cool.
Oh, that's Dire Straits.
That would have never sang a song that cool.
They would have never sang a song that's Dire Straits.
Didn't they sing like Be Good Johnny? Be good, be good.
Yeah,
be good, be good.
Yes, they did.
Welcome.
Not my favorite. Not my favorite group. I tell you that right now.
Hey, but drive safe, Dave. We have a few minutes. Hey, listen, we know we have a major storm for you down there in Florida right now, up in that Georgia, South Florida, Key West area. Hey, our hearts and prayers are going out for you right now. You're in for a tough couple of days coming up, right? For sure, day and a half, maybe 2 days. Then you have the aftermath. You have the tornadoes, all that. I know you go through a lot of that, the high water, the flooding. I know you go through it. It hadn't hit Tampa in 20 years, though.
100.
Really?
100 years.
Wow.
The last time a direct hit Tampa was 100 years ago. They had the mayor on TV last night introducing it, and she was like, I would prefer another 100, but it is. They are talking about 10 to 15 possible tidal surge. That's deadly. I mean, 10 to 15 feet of the water above. I mean, so it's going into that cove, which all those little tributaries are there. Imagine all those houses that have those docks that are right there on that little tributary, right inside that cove, how they're just that close to the water. You can see how dangerous that's going to be if that surge comes in there.
Yeah, so we want you to take it seriously. Listen, if you're driving, you can't go down there. Let the storm happen. Let it do what it does. You stay north of that. Stay up in Georgia. When the roads are clear, we'll give you the all clear, and so will the DOT and everybody else. It's nothing to play with. Listen, and Dave, it's not even that. If you're down there, you're a resident, you're a trucker, and you're going into Florida at all for some reason, listen, the issues go into no food, no fuel. If even you get in there, how are you going to get back out? Because the lines of traffic are going to be crazy, Dave.
There'll be roads closures.
Yep.
And do it. And I'm just going to tell you right now, they've already warned, and I was listening to the news, they have already warned that both DPS, Highway Patrol, and also county sheriff's departments have all reported that if you call 911 at this time, they may or may not be able to get to you because of the dangers that are involved with what's going on down there. They want everybody to evacuate, everybody to get out, but as of right now, I think it's almost too late, right?
So we got Ralph Furlong, so we have our own safety man. Now listen, Ralph's going to be on the show in here in about 5 minutes, Dave. Obviously, if it's too rough out there, Ralph, we're not going to want you. We're going to want you to go back in. Ralph's got the hard hats. He's got the rain gear. What's the guy's name from the weather station that does that?
I don't know, but
Jim
that guy's
Santori or something
that guy's
like that.
crazy. Always out
it's
there.
Our own Jim Santori.
Leaning against the wind. Leaning against the wind and holding on to a pole.
Yeah, and we told Ralph if it wasn't, if it wasn't rainy enough or it didn't seem like it was
sunshiny,
yeah, go get your kids out there, grab the hose, and start spraying yourself. But no, we're going to have Ralph on there to get a first-hand look at that. We may have him on again tomorrow if, again, weather permitting. Dave, it's not just that, it's the Wi-Fi. A lot of those things are going to go out. They're going to lose that Wi-Fi
Once
ability.
the electricity goes, that's it.
Power's gone, all of that. So before we do that, Dave, let's hop into a little bit of what's going on in the market right now. We look at the freight volume at 12,169. It's still above 12,000. That's a key number for us. We want to keep it there. It's not that good, but we want to keep it there. I'm just going to say 12,000. Freight volumes, the freight rates are down and it's staying here. I'm saying it can't go under this. If it goes under this, it's thumbs down. And it's not really thumbs up right now. It's just let's keep it going. I don't know. I talked to a lot of trucking companies over this last few days. They all kind of in that same boat, like, man, it just doesn't feel good right now. and that's at 12,000 shipments. So if it doesn't feel good, we certainly don't want it going down because nothing's getting rejected. I mean, we look at the rejection rate, bam, 5.16. You know, it's not an all-time low, but it's down there. Only 5% of our freight being rejected means those out there on the spot market, nothing really to fight for.
No.
Rates continue to go down.
Yeah, and what is out there is competing for that small amount of freight, and that's really controlling some of the market.
I will say, you know, in general right now, that the rates are kind of hanging about at that $1.90 mark. So we look at the freight rates right now, the line haul at $1.90 a mile. So it's hanging in there. Again, this is across the nation. This isn't your city. And if you know what, if you're in Colorado, you're like, you're not getting $1.90 out of Colorado.
Miami.
You're not going to get $1.90 out of Miami.
Exactly.
You know, but in general, for the dry van freight, that's what it's paying. So it's staying consistent.
Correct.
Fuel is coming down.
I saw that.
The diesel is coming down. So for the independent contractor, it is putting a few more dollars in your pocket. Dave, we spoke yesterday, and before we get Ralph in here, we'll just bring Ralph in. We'll go to a break after this. But Dave, when we think about this surge, we think about this storm in Florida right now, as we spoke about yesterday. I mean, it really does make it will create a different kind of freight all of a sudden, that quick. It'll create a change in the rates. It'll create a change in what's going on with it'll create a change in the dry van, the reefer, the flatbeds, and what they haul. It will make capacity all of a sudden kind of shrink up at a lot of different places. You know, because this storm looks like everything says it's going to create a lot of havoc. It's going to, it's going to take a lot of FEMA trucks and trailers going down there, outside carriers going down there. It's probably these carriers that may have not messed with it before. I bet you they jump all over at these smaller carriers because what a great time for their trucks to stay and get paid and make money as well.
Yeah, I mean, we don't know the devastation yet, but whenever these storms like this with 150-mile-an-hour winds, roofs, buildings, structures, poles, trees, all of this stuff is going to get knocked down, and when it does, you have to have certain materials, raw materials, you have to have certain things to come in and support the local infrastructure to try to get it up. I do know that it was pretty impressive, Sir Rick, when they talked about it, but I saw that 20,000 linemen were already there waiting to start to help get the power back up and running from across the country. Who's feeding those people?
Oh yeah,
yeah. I mean, who's feeding those people?
So hopefully, and we a friend of Ralph's, acquaintance of both of ours, but I'm hoping Ralph can also get in touch. We have another gentleman that's going to be boots on the ground with the generators, Dave, tomorrow.
Oh,
the
nice.
Day after.
Oh,
I would love to be able to get that and just again see what's going on, hear what's going on, and you know what? It's nothing really more than, Dave. Today we become a support. How do we help support these folks down there in Florida? We want to get that story out to show what where you are. And Dave, I mean, I talked to him about the big storms up in Florida, the ones that hit guys about 7-8 years ago now. The ones that came across Panama City and all that.
Oh yeah.
Mexico City, and it was one of his first times out, doing that job, and he was taking videos. Watched it, and I tell you, it was an emotional thing because it took him a minute. It was like wow, because he was like the only one there, with the Homeland Security going in there, and then all of a sudden he realized, and he was walking through somebody's living room.
Yeah.
It wasn't the wow factor anymore. It was like, oh my God, this is somebody's house. Yeah. These are their memories that they're never going to see again.
Yeah, and I did talk to when your house is washed away with 10 foot of water, and let's just say just 10 feet come into your house, all your mementos, all your things, everything that you ever had that was precious to you is gone. It's wasted. And it's gone forever. I mean, you can't get them back. And you have family albums. You have probably things that you have that are that you
haven't put on digital or anything like that.
Right.
Yeah, you don't have heirlooms or whatever it is.
Right. So
gone.
there's a ton just gone in our lives. We protect our caves and we store things in our caves and when they're just washed away, when the mountain's gone, then you don't know what to do, and it makes it really difficult because that's who we are. That's what we cling to. I tell you what, though, we cherish life, and we want to make sure that everything is not as important as the lives of the people that are involved in it, but they do suffer tragedy.
Yes, they do. Hey, this is Ladies Who Launch. It's our Wednesday episode. So we Elizabeth Barnes is out today, but we do have Bryce. We're bringing Bryce in, and Bryce is our marketing talent marketing. And I say talent because boy, she's got a tough job, Dave, trying to work with us. Not much there to work with, right? I mean, you get what you can out of these two folks up here. We're going to talk though about Ladies Who Launch, but before that, we're going to go to a break, and we're going to come back with Sir Ralph out there in the field. Hey, we're back, and we have, is it Wreck-It Ralph? Is it Sir Ralph? I'm not sure what it is out there, Ralph. Hey, I hope you're staying safe out there. Ralph, talk to us. What's going on there in Tampa?
Hey, how you doing, folks? How you been? I sent a couple videos of the other side of my house, but other than that, it seems like we're starting to get the brunt of the storm. I know that the storm is making landfall down in Port Charlotte right now, but up here we're about an hour away up north, more than 50 miles, and we're starting to get the winds. I'm assuming probably the winds right now here are about 50 to 20 miles an hour, and but we're just starting to be ready to go on a 24-hour hurricane preparedness, go through, try to survive mode. So we're pretty much on that route right now.
Ralph, in the neighborhood right there, are most of the people still there, or they leave the Tampa area?
We have it seems to be in the Tampa area. There was a lot of people that had left because of the evacuation zone A. However, a lot of the people didn't anticipate the storm was going to be striking further south. So as of last night, Governor DeSantis had declared around 11 p.m. that the storm had made a wobble to the south and had asked if at that point for the people to evacuate Zone A down south, Port Charlotte area, Sarasota area. So as far as us here, we're still going to get the storm. We're still going to be affected. We'll get rain, we'll get water. We're going to get water surges. We're going to get flooding. So a lot of people are prepared, and we're just going to ride it out. Hopefully, we don't get the worst of the worst, but pray for the best.
Hey, Ralph, just for us, our knowledge, what did you do to prepare? Do you have a generator? Do you have water? Did you stock up on food? What did you do to prepare if you're going to be riding out the storm into that region? What did you do?
Yeah, I pretty much, there was 3 houses that, my mother's house, she was in Zone A, so we had to evacuate her out of that zone. Zone B, in the areas where I had the other house, pretty much started boarding up that house, sandbags around the doors, perimeter slider doors. And as far as my house up here in Zephyr Hills, I do have sandbags along all the doors, except the one that I'm talking through. This one we'll start putting sandbags here shortly and protecting the home.
Hey, Ralph,
a lot of water outages here. People were buying a lot of water, and pretty much that went first, and propane also.
So, Rob, I would say, hey, we're going to recommend that you find your way inside, and instead of standing out there in the rain. We don't want you to get hurt or anything like that. But Ralph's been sending in images, and we're
Yeah.
playing those.
So while we're talking, Ralph, hey, we're gonna shoot. We're gonna show some of that B-roll of the wind. And you can see it right there, Ralph, on that other side of the house. There's no doubt there's a lot more wind going on over there already, right? So we can see that wind there. We're probably losing Ralph right now, but we can see that.
Yeah.
Let's go to that next one real quick. Let's see the other video that we have with Ralph. Ralph, that wind definitely kicking up out there. It may even miss some of that hair up. I want you to be careful with that hair, okay? Because we need that hair to stand up straight throughout this whole thing. But no, Ralph, we want you to be safe out there. If you can, we'll take some videos from you tomorrow or later on today if you can. You know, Ralph, we just want to make sure that you're staying safe. But, you know, for us to get a little eye out there. Nothing crazy, Ralph. I don't need you out there.
On the roof.
Yeah, on the roof.
Just take some video. Send us in some. Be our on-the-spot reporter, man. We do appreciate you coming in and let us know what it's looking like, because everybody here is kind of hoping and praying for you Floridians out there to be safe, be protected, and it not be as bad as it looks.
All right.
100%. We'll keep you updated through later on this afternoon. I'll shoot a video, and also tomorrow we'll let you guys know what the outcome was.
Roger, brother. Hey, stay safe, Ralph.
Station in the nation.
All right.
Yes. Thank you, Ralph. So you're seeing it out there right now, Dave. It's starting to. It's nothing crazy yet,
Not yet.
but it's coming.
Oh, yeah.
You know, winter's coming, right? And it is on its way. Those winds are going to kick up. Dave, what is that? What is that fall going to hit right now? Where are we saying? Is it gonna that eye going to hit Tampa?
No, it's
definitely
closer to closer to Fort Myers.
Got it.
And then it's going to move up across at a straight diagonal up to the other northern part. We do have a video of it. We can go.
Let's just look at the current mapping right now, if we can. Let's just see what we have there. Probably should put my glasses on.
Here it is. It's right here.
There you go.
And then we can zoom in right here and kind of get an eye. There's the wall, and there's Fort Myers. Tampa is up here, as you can see. And then as we forward, how it comes crashing in, it is going to make its beeline straight for like Orlando in that Ocala area. It's going to go in through there and then push its way across Florida with some strength, as you can see the rotation, and then make its way off coast, run up. Look at that, how it formed back up there off coast, and then crash back into the Savannah area. So it is going, but this is definitely the intense part of the storm down here in the middle of Florida in this area right here. But that is where it will go back into Georgia.
So that's Friday right now, projecting again around 12, 1, 2, 3 o'clock.
Absolutely.
That time. So
Yes. We're going to be watching it. We're going to be, I'll tell you, it really, what's going to happen when it goes back into the north, it's going to be a major rain event. Right now, what we have in the south is storm surge and wind, deadly winds, deadly storm surge coming in that in the Fort Myers area and this huge bay, Sir Rick. This is what I wanted to show you. As you look at it closely, this storm surge will affect all of this bay and all of these canals. So you're looking at Punta Gorda, Northport. You're looking at all of these get maybe 9 to 10 feet of storm surge, which they are not ready for.
Dave, if we look at the thunderstorms too, let's see if it's showing anything going on the thunderstorm side. How do we get that light?
Hi, this is David.
Here, I'll show you right here. Rain and thunder. This will give you a little bit clearer picture as it. Yeah, there you go. And you can see this is the intensity of the rains, and you can see the thunderstorms, the lightning, how it's this vast area here, how the outer bands have already started to broaden up. But you can see right here on this rotation coming in, you can see that it's really going to be pushing all of that in there.
So if we look at right now, if we go in the Tampa area, Dave, we can say, how do we tell what kind of winds Tampa's at right now?
Okay, here we go. Let's go hit that X real quick, and then we'll go to wind. Now you can just touch anywhere.
28 miles an hour.
28 miles an hour right now. 66 right now. It hasn't even crashed in yet at Cape Coral, but it's coming, and the eye wall is going to get close, and as it gets closer, it's going to increase those winds and very dangerous. It is still a Category 4 hurricane, but it is very dangerous. That is, by the way, that's sustained winds. 66 mile an hour. Can you imagine, Rick?
Oh, yeah. No.
I mean, we're not talking about a gust. We're not talking about, ooh, it just went through. We're talking about constant, straight, sideways wind.
All right, hey, listen, we're coming back with more on BCB Live. Coming up next, we have Bryce joining us.
Absolutely.
Talking about ladies who launch, a great segment we have now every single Wednesday. It starts at 12 o'clock right here on BCB Live. We're going to go to break and be right back with more on BCB Live, the safest station in the nation.
Hi, this is David Dover, also known as Drive Safe Dave. You are watching BCB Live, the safest station in the nation.
Safety is what you want to talk about, and safety is what you want to be every single day. That's what we're here for. We're here to make it better.
The industry needs BCB Live so that it can find new and inventive ways to bring safety to the forefront for every single person out there on the road.
You got to be prepared to stop, and when you look at that and you understand the situation that you're in, you got to know that it's going to change. You got to expect it to change, and you can't run those lights.
You can watch BCB Live weekdays, 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. Central Standard Time. So what are you waiting for? Follow and subscribe to BCB Live today.
And welcome back to BCB Live, the safest station in the nation. We're joined with Bryce. Do we have a name for Bryce? Did we ever come up with one?
Drive Nice Bryce.
Say that again.
Drive Nice Bryce.
Drive Nice Bryce. Yes. Here we go. I gotta. You know what I do? So I
No,
love
it's
quizzes.
not Drive Nice
Why?
Drive, because it's Drive Safe Dave, and now it's Drive Nice.
Oh.
No, we'll find you. We'll figure out something, Bryce. We can even go Be Nice, Bryce. But I'll tell you, we.
Okay, he's feeling intimidated.
He
right
is
now.
feeling
Yeah,
intimidated
well,
on that
there
because
is.
he's with a lady who launches, and it gets a little intimidating. Trying to say, Dave, I get it on that. Hey, Dave, real quick, what national park was our very own Bryce George named after?
I'm gonna go the George Washington National Park.
No.
No, Miss Bryce.
Bryce Canyon
Bryce Canyon.
National Park.
Oh,
Oh, wait, I
good.
need to
How-
talk louder also because I'm next to you.
Why do you need to talk
Because
louder?
you make
Or you can just
people-
quit talking.
I could just be quieter. I could low talk. I could low
You'll
talk.
sound normal.
I can low talk. No, Bryce National Canyon. Is that right? Where is
Bryce Canyon National Park.
Where is that located?
In Utah.
Is it?
Yes.
Have you been there?
I have,
Oh,
actually.
3 years old.
3. You were 3 years. You were there at 3 years old.
I'm saying that she
When
hiked
what-
it when she was 3, I think.
Is that?
I stalked Bryce Dick. She's got a cool little thing. I was looking at because what is your page? And it's like she's. You know what the funny thing is? It's like she's got a resume, even though she works out here. It's like a living, live resume
That's what
online.
it
I was like, I looked at it first, like we should hire this person. It's like, oh my God, it's Bryce.
I know.
And I've
you're
never
very
seen-
lucky.
Who takes all of your photos here in the office? I just want to know who takes all of your, because you have so many photos here in the office. Who is your official photo taker?
Dave will sometimes do it. I've had Blake do it. Yeah, basically, they're my photo guys.
Gotcha. All right.
We're on staff here
Yeah, you
to,
are.
to
telling you,
take,
she's
because
got
her
it
face
going
is
on.
her LinkedIn page. I'm looking at it. It's her LinkedIn, but there every day there's like a new updated. What do you call it? A page.
I can't help it. People like it when I just post stuff that's like going on, you know?
So what happened? Now, where did you come up with Ladies Who Launch? I mean, just a great episode with Elizabeth on it. It's going to keep going every Wednesday,
Yes.
but idea, where did that come from and why?
Well, I really wanted to highlight the women in the industry. And being a female in the industry, it's something that is near and dear to my heart. And I only wanted to do the same to my fellow women out there in trucking and be able to highlight what it is that they do.
What do you find most intriguing about, I mean, you've been here now for, how long has it been?
9 months.
9 months?
Or 8, 9, something like that.
So what have you, I mean, certainly when you came in here, what you're doing now, the expectation or the, what you've learned about our industry probably has exceeded or just nothing what you came in here thinking about. Talk to me about when you came in here, what did you think about this industry? What were you going to do versus where you are today and what you've learned about our industry?
Well, first say I didn't have any, I didn't know what to think about trucking, let alone what I would be doing at a broadcasting station. Never done broadcasting or anything like that before. But more specifically, getting to talk to the actual drivers has been a very big surprise to me. The relationships I've developed with them, and not just that, the relationships I've developed with the women or even men that we get to work with on the show. That's honestly my favorite part, and I've always known I'm a people person, but it's really the highlight of my job. And I really do love, especially like the preliminary meetings I get and getting to know you guys more. And then when we go out to these conventions, getting to meet y'all in person, it's very exciting.
Any big conventions coming up?
We have one big one, since we are talking about ladies who launch. We have Women in Trucking coming up.
Oh.
Acceleration Expo, November 13th through the 16th. And we will be there.
On my birthday.
Yes, Dave. It's going to be a very special day.
And it's right here in Dallas,
It is
right?
in Dallas, Texas. So, we're going to have to be traveling very far to get there. But
we're going to be there, but we're not just going to be there. We're going to be there,
Yes.
right?
yes, and I'm officially starting.
Like broadcasting, not
yes.
just
Yeah,
there.
not
talking,
just
we're
walking
there,
around and going, hey,
yes.
cool stuff. We're going to be in there. Hey, come listen to us.
Yes, come join our conversations. Come be part of this right here of
Absolutely.
BCB Live, of Ladies Who Launch, all of these things here.
Yes, and we already have some people lined up for interviews, and I'm asking anybody who's interested to please contact me. I'm obviously very active on LinkedIn, so that's always a great way to contact
Queen of
me.
LinkedIn right here,
And
the queen.
Yes.
New
and-
profile coming out today. New profile pic today.
And just let me know. We love to get to talk to other people in the industry, and we'll be doing panel interviews, individual interviews, so just come stop by and say hi. We'll definitely give out more information of what our booth number is. We'll have some merch, things like that to get you excited. So
Swag.
the swag.
So
yes.
how do they? What's the best way to get a hold of you if they want to be on this show?
Really, 99% of my contacts we initially communicate through LinkedIn.
Gotcha.
So that's why I use it. I love it because I get to meet so many people.
Bryce George. We have a lower third for Bryce. Wow.
You know what?
How do
You
we
know what?
know?
I may just walk out right now.
That I can't.
Everybody needs a little.
I can't believe she.
I know. I'm
She
surprised
is
it didn't come up.
I'm
like-
excited to have Spark to like a 15-minute music segment along
Yes.
with it.
She's in charge of the lower thirds.
Yeah,
I
she
know.
does do the
I
lower
really,
thirds.
I really am the behind-the-scenes person. I'm not used to being in front of the camera.
So if you're out there, you want to be, especially on our show,
Right, absolutely.
Ladies Who Launch. Who do we have next week on the show? Do you know? Is it a surprise?
Next Wednesday, Roxanne Brown. She is with Ironwood Consulting, and she is actually, her boss is Kara Vines.
Okay.
So, we're just having all of the Ironwood people coming on the show now, and she's a huge fan of Kenny Ray, too. So.
All right, love
Yeah.
it, love it. We all love us some Kenny Ray here
Yeah,
on BCB
absolutely.
Live.
100%.
I did see a couple ladies out at the McLeod conference that are also that are either going to be part of it or want to be part of this show as
Okay,
well. So
awesome.
I'll make sure I give you those contacts as well. Love the show. Let me tell you something. It highlights a lot of what's going on in our industry, and it's focused on the ladies, the women who are making things happen out there, from education to putting things in process, getting it going to make this industry successful. And it does. It takes all of us to make this happen.
and I'm just gonna. She's on here now. We don't have her on here very often. I'm gonna tell you that when Bryce does get contacted with the LinkedIn, she does develop the relationships with the people that come on the show. And I watch her and I joke with her sometimes, but she's really taking the time and the energy to find out about what it is about the individuals when they call in and get out here. And she really does vet the people that come through here, even Ralph, even Wreck-It Ralph. We do, but she does a great job in making sure that those people understand what we're doing here and that they want to be a part of the show. And by the time they get done with Bryce, they're ready. They're ready to come in here and letting us have it.
Makes our job easy, and all we can do is fail, right? I mean, and we do that quite a bit. I mean, it's like she gives us the script, what to do, and before you know
Off
it,
the rails.
Yeah, we hadn't even started on it yet. She's like,
We didn't even get the first question.
I'm very comfortable with bossing around now behind the scenes. Okay, it comes natural now. But I also just want to, formally apologize to anyone when I have had meetings, preliminary meetings, and we have a certain person bombing them, photo bombing them in the background. It's very I'm
It's
trying
hard.
to be professional.
I understand, and it's really hard when I'm in there trying to get those photo shoot shots. So that good stuff, man, Bryce. I'll tell you what. Thank you. I think this is a great opportunity, a great segment, and I think I'm glad that you've built it. I'm glad that you've designed it. I'm glad that we're making it a part of the regular part of the show every week.
Do we have like a promo for it yet or not? Can we
Yeah, can we just show it? The Ladies Who Launch. Can we see that? Where's that Ladies Who Launch cool promo thing that they got?
Because I one out there.
I pulled up. This guy was playing this at the street light yesterday when I pulled up. I could hear it in his car next to mine. That was this segment was going.
Every Wednesday, at noon. Again, if you want to be part of this show, you want to, you want to get a hold of Bryce on LinkedIn, reach out to her, make that connection. It'll be worth it, and we would love to have you on this show. This show is about educating everybody on what we are doing as well as an industry. We'll be back. We have Double Check Dale.
Yeah, we do.
Okay, does he have like a walk-up song too?
You know what?
Bryce has got to walk. Everybody's got to walk.
Okay, I got it. Yes, Double Check Dale deserves one. Okay.
Double Check Dale deserves a walk-up song.
Okay, we'll get Double Check Dale a walk-up
Coming up next on BCB Live.
You're watching BCB Live, the safest station in the nation. BCB Live covers freight. Here we are now at 21% of record freight being rejected.
News down in Texas. We're going to talk a little bit about this. We had another $1.5 million seizure. If ever there's a time to do a pre or post trip, it's if you're doing something wrong.
Weather, traffic.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome to some traffic and weather with Buckle Up Bob. You can kind of see where the visibility can be compromised a little bit. Again, right where that rain is.
And most importantly, safety.
One of the things that we must do is make sure that safety is the number one thing that we focus on.
Going into an intersection yellow is not the way. That's to clear an intersection, not to enter an intersection.
Tune in weekdays from 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. Central Standard Time. You can watch BCB Live through LinkedIn, YouTube, or Facebook. So what are you waiting for? Subscribe today and follow BCB Live.
All right. Hey, welcome back to BCB Live, the safest station in the nation. We have a Double Check Dale here. We're going over safety. Dale, some recommendations. I know that you speak to a lot of trucking companies, truck drivers. What is some recommendations you have for them today as that storm approaches?
Well, stay in contact with your dispatch. Make sure that those places of business are open. Make sure that if they're open, they have people. If you have to be received, that they have people that are received. Because a lot of times just because you're open doesn't mean the people to receive or load are there. So that's probably the biggest thing. If you're going into an area where it's going to be affected, make sure you have adequate hours on your clock to get in and get out of there. Make sure that you're fueled up, that your tanks are full before you go into a situation, because there's going to be a lot of loss of power. It may be spotty, may be widespread, and so maybe able not to get fuel when you need it. So just plan ahead, be prepared for the worst case, and then you're ready for it.
Yeah, I did know that, and also make sure that some of the state and federal regulations that are going on at the time. And there are moments in natural disaster areas where the hours of service rules are suspended. Just make sure that you're aware of what's going on in that area and what's happening as you do it. Also, plenty of water, plenty of food wherever you're going. Make sure that you have plenty of, and those extra battery charge up things are always nice to have when you go there, because you want to make sure that you can communicate and continue to communicate with the home base.
Yeah, some other things too that you brought up, and I want to make sure we get that out to everybody. Hey, listen, if you're in that dispatch office right now, customer service area, you've got that reefer load going into Miami that picked up yesterday. It's probably not going to happen. And Dave, you may not be able to get there for another week. We don't know what's going to happen. Make sure you're on the phone with that shipper.
Correct.
Right?
Absolutely.
And don't forget about your driver. If you're going to leave him or her on that load, you don't forget if you drop that trailer, make sure you have fuel protocol in place. You have
Correct.
somebody that can go out there and fuel that up.
If it's
These
on-
are things you need to make sure you think about.
100%. If it's on continuous run, and as we all know in the industry, it won't take very long for that to run down and run out of fuel. Make sure that you have it somewhere where it can be monitored, somewhere it can be protected, and make sure that you always communicate as a customer service, communicate with the customer's freight, whoever's freight that is, whatever's in the box. Make sure you let them know what's going on. We all see the news. We all know but it's easy when you're sitting in California to not realize the total impact of what's going on in Florida.
Make sure you over communicate to your customers. And I'm telling you, you're going to be like, how do you not know there's a storm here? People don't know, or they don't understand. They don't understand how bad it is because it's 90 degrees where they are and the sun's out. Dave, great point on that. Make sure you're communicating because you want to make sure your customers know because they won't understand why there's a problem in Savannah today. Right? Well, people are boarding up. People aren't going into work.
Correct.
Don't assume that they understand all these things. Make that extra phone call. Send them some news. Over communicate with them. As a matter of fact, I recommend this. I recommend that you take a snippet of this show and send it to them. Send them a link of BCB Live. That after it's going to be recorded, it'll be on YouTube. It'll be on LinkedIn. You can take that, send it to them so they can hear it from somebody else. Sometimes it's even nice to hear it from somebody else to get those updates. But Dale, as we think about that, boy, it just makes us think about being prepared, all the things that go into a driver, whether it's snow or storm, chains, all of these things. Our drivers out there, they've got to do things to be prepared.
Yeah, I mean, it's always about planning ahead, being prepared, be safe for it. And if you're prepared, it's a lot easier to be safe. With those extra batteries, make sure your fuel tanks, make sure you're doing your pre-trips, your equipment's in good shape like that. You're out winter driving and tire chain laws and everything. Communication, there's a lot of different ways to find out, if the chain laws are in effect or what the weather is. I mean, there's all kinds of apps for your phone. There's weather channels that you can tune into. You can Google 511. Most states have the 511 system. So if you dial that or you log into that, you can see what's going on with the signboards, with the live cameras, dispatchers, safety people in your company. Those are all assets that you can use and communicate with to find out what's going on, and so you don't get yourself into a situation. I mean, we said it a couple times with chains. They're to get you out of trouble, not to get you into trouble.
Great point. Great point on that. We got videos?
I think we should have some videos.
Let's do video time.
I'm going to guess we're probably.
Yeah, I was going to say, I know we're not following too close.
Great.
No, I looked at this. I've seen this video. I almost imagine this car's targeting the truck or making a move at the truck, aggressive driving, because no way were they just cutting over. They are right here. They're buzzing the truck. You know what I mean? It's just stupid, and it's irresponsible. It's aggressive driving. But kudos to the driver for being in the right lane, under the speed limit, moving over when necessary, avoiding contact, and not engaging into anything about this behavior.
Yeah, I mean, you look at this white car that cuts him off. Maybe he got distracted. All of a sudden, he looked up because you see where they get distracted. They look up and they don't realize where they are or how close they are or how close they're closing in on somebody, and they jerk that wheel as a reflex. Just scary stuff. A great job by the driver there. We're too close in this one, and just too close. And I know there's a 4x4 laying on the front of this flatbed that's moving around a little bit, and it's got the driver. He's trying to communicate with the other driver. Doesn't have a CB radio, but you just got to back off. You can't put yourself into that situation. Put yourself in an unsafe situation because there's another one happening.
911.
911.
Dial 911. That's a great time to get them on the phone. If you see a loose cargo or a loose load like that, if you can't connect by CB and you don't necessarily want to try to run the guy down or run him. You want to make sure that, because the police can get there pretty quickly, get this guy over safely, and then we can resecure the load properly, and nobody will be for the worse for it. And you know what? They can make sure they get over safely on the side of the road.
Yeah, and it keeps you out of an unsafe situation because there really is no place to go at this point. And again, we're probably too close here. Not probably, we are too close. We're less than a second. We're not trusting the system. We just got to learn to trust the system and back off a little bit, create that space, and then move over when it's safe. more of the same. I mean, 0.8 of a second, you know. And a lot of times I know they say, well, it's time and I got to pass, and if I don't get my momentum up, it takes me too long. But to put yourself in an unsafe situation just to get your momentum up isn't a wise thing either. So just, you know, stay back a little bit more, move over a little sooner, start building the momentum when you get over.
Yeah, some of these you can see that there's a timing in here, right? Like you said, they're waiting to keep that speed up, that RPMs so they can pass the vehicle. You can do the same maneuver, Dave. You've been out there driving before. You can do the same maneuver another second behind this vehicle, right?
100. You can go
So
another.
tell me
100.
Tell me your secret on this.
The secret on this, the secret is don't get when you identify yourself too close. Don't worry about the left lane yet. Worry about the space in front of you first. Make sure you have enough there, and then start looking over to the left. Don't make that the escape first. Your responsibility is that concrete directly in front of you. Make sure there's enough of it.
It's have that big picture, you know, so have that big picture when you're 15, 20 seconds behind. See what's going on ahead of you, see what's going on behind you in the mirrors, and just kind of plan it and work it out that way. You know, you really don't have a big picture here. I mean, you got truck to the left,
No
right, you got
picture
truck in
on
front
this
of you.
one,
Just
right?
no
We're all
picture.
going the same speed. There's no speed. Everybody's going the exact same speed, running right alongside of it. This is not a safe deal.
So
no truck.
tell me what's unsafe about this, Dave?
Two truck drivers running side by side. What it does is it offers no visibility to anybody behind it. But if anybody loses control, can you imagine what happens if these two guys get tangled up? What happens to everybody immediately behind them? I mean, this guy in this position right here, if these two get hung up, where are we going? What are we
think
doing?
about if all of a sudden traffic stops and that vehicle in front of this vehicle, they're on their phone, they're doing something else. Dave, they hit those vehicles, we're going to hit them too. We
100%.
can't stop, right?
We can't stop.
Can't stop.
You have no idea. As a matter of fact, you're going to be in that ass end before you stop.
That's before you hit the brakes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're going to be right there on it.
Yep.
So you've got to make sure, you have to make certain that you're allowing yourself, and it's critical to give up that, you know, to increase that space, reduce that speed, you know, that space. So it's so critical. And you know, we know the technology's out there. You know, I spent a few days with a lot of electronic log companies, the camera companies up in McLeod. I get all the technology. It's crazy good. But how do we really encourage and teach people to use it? And the people I'm talking about, our drivers out there on the road, to encourage them really to use that technology and trust that it's there to make them safe.
You know, I think that's a great question, and the main reason we've always shown videos here every day is to have sometimes it's easier to identify your own behavior when you see it in somebody else. Because we don't see our own behaviors as a negative behavior because it's ours, and denial is there, and our inability to identify our own negative behaviors. But when we see the same behavior in another individual, it comes to light, and it allows us to learn that, hey, you know what? That isn't right. So we all know, sitting here looking at these videos, and almost every single driver that looks at these videos realizes just how bad that situation is. But we find ourselves in those moments all the time. And if you're out there and you find yourself, we're hoping that you gain insight from these videos, that you learn from this playbook that we're showing, and that by the video that we're watching every single day out there on the road, that you make a positive change.
Yep. We want you to act, even when that technology lets you know, it's happened for 15, 16, 17 seconds already. Now we want you to back off. And then you'll start catching yourselves before you get in them. And I get it, Dave. It's tough out there.
Oh,
I mean,
you don't know what you're talking about.
You're going out there 500 miles, 600 miles. We get it. We understand
100%.
a lot. And what we want you to do is just to continue to get better at safety, to recognize when you can be better,
Right.
when you can get a little bit more, create more safety within your industry, within your bubble, within your tractor. It's what we want you to do. Folks, we'll see you tomorrow. Hey, for those of you out in Florida watching us, stay safe today. Prayers are with you. We'll be on tomorrow. We'll have Wreck-It Ralph on with us, and maybe we'll have another guy as well to see what's going on down there. But prayers go out to each and every one of you. God bless.